following the setback in its rivalry with SpaceX. This pivotal flight could either propel Boeing to new heights of success or plunge them into a nightmare scenario. The burning question is whether Boeing's Starliner is truly reliable, and should NASA entrust it with future missions? With SpaceX's Dragon on the rise, is there a safer alternative? Let's find out all the details and more in today's episode of SpaceX Flight. Let's start by diving into the current status of the Starliner capsule. After enduring years of delays and a series of setbacks during test flights, Boeing's Starliner spacecraft is now gearing up for its highly anticipated inaugural crewed launch, slated for as early as May 6th. This crewed flight test is scheduled to take off from SLC-41 atop an Atlas V rocket, carrying NASA's esteemed astronauts Barry Wilmore and Sunita Williams on board. Last week marked the commencement of the final preparations for Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. Boeing began the process by fueling the Starliner with the necessary propellant for its altitude control thrusters and abort system, which operates similarly to SpaceX's Dragon. Starliner employs hypergolic fuel for its systems, a type of fuel that can be stored at room temperature throughout the entire mission. However, it's crucial to note that this fuel is highly toxic to humans. Fueling operations were successfully completed mid-last week, following which teams from both Boeing and United Launch Alliance moved Starliner to Space Launch Complex 41 overnight. The process kicked off at Boeing's facility at Kennedy Space Center, housed within one of the original hangars for the iconic space shuttles. It concluded just outside SLC-41 at the Vertical Integration Facility, where Starliner was hoisted and affixed atop the special Centaur upper stage. With the Starliner launch just around the corner, Boeing and NASA are racing against the clock to address a host of lingering issues. During the last flight test in 2022, engineers discovered a concerning issue with the suspension line on the Starliner parachute, which had a lower failure threshold than initially anticipated. Although NASA and Boeing engineers conducted tests to rectify this issue earlier this year, parachutes remain a top priority as they undergo last-minute checks before liftoff. Additionally, concerns arose regarding the flammability of the wiring harnesses, prompting Boeing to replace approximately a mile's worth of material and implement protective measures. Boeing faces another challenge as they consider redesigning some of the spacecraft's valves due to corrosion concerns. However, this upgrade isn't anticipated until at least the second crewed flight in 2025. For the upcoming inaugural crewed flight in May, Boeing will rely on a viable mitigation strategy to prevent valve sticking issues. However, recent developments surrounding Boeing's Starliner spacecraft and its collaboration with NASA suggest a promising turnaround. Despite past setbacks, both Boeing and NASA appear to be surmounting the challenges that once plagued this seemingly ill-fated spacecraft. Notably, NASA officials have underscored a heightened level of collaboration with Boeing, with ground personnel from Boeing's facilities taking an active role in overseeing the implementation of crucial fixes ahead of the upcoming Starliner flight. While Starliner struggles, SpaceX's Dragon, announced around the same time, has been soaring. It has been autonomously ferrying crews to the ISS for 4 years, offering a significantly lower cost at approximately $75 million per seat. In contrast, Starliner is projected to cost $90 million per seat, surpassing $100 million when adjusted for inflation since 2019. This hefty price tag even exceeds the cost of a ride on the Soyuz, the very craft Boeing and SpaceX aim to replace. SpaceX's competitive edge lies in its high launch cadence, primarily fueled by the partially reusable Falcon 9. In contrast, Boeing's Starliner struggles with a meager maximum of 2 missions per year, owing to its launch on a fully expendable rocket. This stark contrast in launch frequency not only drives up costs for Boeing, but also undermines its efficiency. Unless Boeing embraces an entirely new approach to spaceflight, it may never match SpaceX's scale, even if the upcoming launch succeeds.